Well, boys and girls, this is a hoss of a dreadnought. This, of course, is a D-45S Authentic. And I've had this guitar in a couple of videos, and I have not played it recently because, frankly, I'm scared to play it. The owner says, it's not my guitar, it's on loan, and the owner said, don't be afraid to play it. I expect it to have some dings and scratches and stuff, but I'm afraid to play it. But I decided to bring it with me here, and we're thinking about selling it. He's thinking about selling it. Just thinking. So I thought I would do a video exclusively on this guitar with no ABs, no nothing, just talking about this guitar because this is a very, it's a rare guitar, first of all. I can't remember how many. I'll put it in the comment. I'll put it in the description how many of these were made. But it is a D-45S, which means the body is a little bit bigger than a standard dreadnought, an authentic. And because it's D-45, it has a Brazilian rosewood back and sides, which is cool because most of the authentics are Madagascar, Guatemalan rosewood, which I love both of those. But this is Brazilian, so this is really, truly an authentic. In other words, it's as close as they're going to make it. They're just as close as a modern Martin guitar factory is going to make it to the original. This is a 36. Let's see if it says that inside. Yeah, it does, 1936. It says D-45S Authentic, 1936. Serial number 187, etc., etc., etc. I don't know why people don't just give the whole serial number. I mean, what are you going to do with that, It's not like a motor vehicle department where you're going to go stalk the guy according to his license plate, which you can see anyways. But anyway, that's the serial number, D-45S, 1936 Authentic. And this is as close as you're going to make a modern guitar to the 1936. You can never go back. You'll never make it exactly like it was in 1936. The mindset is not the same in 1936. You didn't have World War II looming on the horizon. You just didn't have the mindset. So that right away is going to make a change. The factory's different. Things are different, It's just chaos theory. You can't go back to that starting condition and end up with the same result again. So, sensitivity to initial starting conditions. But this is as close as you're going to get. It has a T-bar, metal T-bar in the neck. And, the tuners are different because you're not going to get the original tuners anymore. These are gold Waverleys. And they're engraved, and that's why I hung up on the word. Look at it shining. These are gold engraved Waverly tuners, which are $250 right there, Bound headstock, Brazilian rosewood, I'm sure. Is that ivory or bone? I'm sure it's bone, which is fine. It's got the snowflakes, it's got the, all the abalone inlay, Brazilian rosewood, it has abalone. Let's get up there, take a look at this real close. That's got to be my cover shot for the video right there. You can see the camera. I showed you the bridge. This thing's a beast. The binding's really nice and tight, just because that tends to be a problem with all modern Martins, and I'm fairly sure, that because of the abalone, they would have used a different adhesive than they normally use on the other guitars. But I know I've repaired a lot of authentics. Every authentic that I have personally owned, I've had to do a little bit of binding repair back here. The binding will pop. Had a customer from San Antonio just a couple of days ago. Binding was loose on one of his guitars. Common problem. This binding is super tight. I'm not feeling any ridges, so I'm not indicating any shrinkage. And just for your information, Yeah, not feeling anything there. That's all nice and great. I replaced the pins. It had something else in it, and these are antique acoustics with abalone dots. It seems like it had something else. They put it in the case, I'm sure. That's it. I've lowered the saddle. The action right now is 93 thousandths of an inch, maybe 95. And when you look at it, it looks higher, but I get my feeler gauges out, and I'm like, whoa. The reason it looks bigger, this is a massive neck. This is the biggest neck I have ever played. I'm trying to think, period. But this is a very, very big neck. This is a 1 3/4 inch neck, of course, but up here at the heel, it is absolutely a chunk of wood. And if anybody's actually interested in the guitar for purchase and wants to know that sort of thing, I'd be happy to, take the strings off and I'll measure it for you. In fact, I may do that anyways, just to put it in my record book, because I know this is the biggest neck I've ever seen. Unlike the 1937 D-28 Authentic that have a super thin taper here and get massive up here, this one is fairly chunky back up in here. It's still got a big taper. It's still got a massive taper. Don't get me wrong on that. But because it's thick up in here, it feels good. And it's really only up in here that it's really, really thick. And by the time you get up there, you're not really playing swing chords up here. This is not a swing chord guitar. This is a 1936 D-45, and what this thing is for is rhythm. It's for playing rhythm on, and it's for standing there and pounding out chords like that. I don't see this personally myself as a lead flat picker guitar because of the size of the neck, and just because that's not what I want out of a lead flat picker guitar. The tone on this guitar is big, bassy. This is a rhythm machine. This is designed, intended. Its purpose in life is to drive a band, or to be a solo guitar where you're going to sit there and play Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young songs, and you're going to do big strumming like this, and you're going to sing over it. This would be an excellent guitar for a solo singer or small ensemble sort of thing. I'm just telling you this stuff. But the neck is really big. The action is 3/32 of an inch. It's got a pretty good chunk of saddle on it, dude. And again, I'd measure all that for a buyer that was interested, but I bet that saddle is 125 thousandths of an inch out of the bridge, which is just about perfect. When I originally got this guitar, I thought the action was really high, but I also noticed that the nut slots were high. And I said, I bet the action drops more than I think after I do the nut slots. And sure enough, after I did the nut slots, it was just nice and really good. I don't think it's going to need an echo set for, quite a while. No more than normal. 15 to 20 years, after everything really settles in, then it might need one. But the action is very playable up here. Sounds great. Of course, it's a red spruce top. I don't know if it's VTS or anything like that. I don't know. You have to look at the specs on that. But it's a gorgeous top. It's a nice looking top. And I don't care if it's VTS or not, but all I care about is really about how does it sound. And it sounds great. Does this one have a popsicle brush? I think this one does. Yes, it does. And the discussion on that, yes, it's got a popsicle brush. Technically, a 1936 should not have a popsicle brush. And I believe John Arnold said that what happened is when Martin got a hold of copies of it, or originals of this to copy, there's only so many of these. There's 91 of them, right? 91 of the original pre-war D-45s. And the guitar that they got in to inspect had a popsicle brush in it, which was probably added later. Because I'm pretty sure John said that the originals did not have the popsicle brush. And I know that a 1936 D-28 or D-18 would not have a popsicle brush originally. This one does. And so, again, the suspicion was that Martin used a guitar that had been modified as a model, and they don't know that. They don't know everything. they need to know. They need to talk to John Arnold a lot, and hire him as a consultant to come over and check the specs. So, guitar has a popsicle bush. There's no way in the world I would take the popsicle bush out of this guitar. It would scare me to death, and it would make it unoriginal. When originality is an important thing for a guitar like this. So, pickguard is pretty good. I mean, it's a modern pickguard. They look only so-so to the originals. The originals have more green to them, but it's the best you can do today. That's what I meant by this is the best modern recreation, because we don't have the pickguard material anymore. It's hard to recreate that. I have seen zero really, really good 1930 copies on that. And I don't know why. I don't make pickguards, and I don't know why we can't copy the 1930s more accurately, other than the fact that this is celluloid. And so again, the ingredients for the celluloid have changed. And for all I know, Martin had one sheet of celluloid, and they cut all the pickguards out of that, and the next sheet would have been different. I don't know. I don't think they got a supply of pickguard materials in the 8x10 sheets. I would suspect they had a roll of celluloid and cut the pickguards out of it, and when they ran out of it, they got another sheet, and it was different kind of colored material. So that's my suspicion on that. I know that from going to the Collings factory, and Bill Collings himself showed me the rolls of material that they used to cut their Clarence White pickguards and all their pickguards, and it was, about that tall and that big around, and it was just a roll of material, and they're probably still using it, but when they run out of it, it's going to be a different set of material. So, all right, that's the guitar. So let's just play it some. Looking for my capo. There it is. Look at my capo. I'm going to need a capo. Let's see if this capo fits. This is an Elliott. It's engraved. And I'm in Los Alamos, as you can probably tell by the road noise in the background. People here have got the loudest cars and trucks in the world. And they just roar up and down the streets. Let's put a capo on. Alright, playing. I'm just going to play stuff. We're playing too much banjo. Forgot my songs. Let me get this mic over here. I don't know when the mic moved. Let me get it over here. A little bit closer. man, that's what I feel this guitar is really, really good at. Notes came out of there really crisp, and yet I had a great rhythm going on with that cool percussive sound on the background. I didn't have to do a lot of fancy finger work on this, not like, linear finger work is what I call it, but you're doing this scaly finger work. I just held it there, did a little cross picking stuff. That played beautifully. I had no issues whatsoever with that. In fact, standing up, this big neck would be really comfortable because it gives you something to hang on to. But man, that just really, really shone on that kind of song. It'll do Sawtelle really good too, no question. Same sort of thing. Charles Sawtelle stuff comes from that. Sorry for the mistake. Like I said, I've been playing too much banjo and haven't practiced it. This guitar feels very much actually like Charles Sawtelle had a Thompson guitar. Believe that's right. Believe it's Thompson. But it's the guitar that he played with, and it had the bling on it. It had an English spruce or a German spruce top on it, but it was yellowish, and it had the binding on it. I remember playing it at his house. Pretty sure it was a Thompson. It was supposed to be a copy of his other, other guitar, which it really wasn't quite because the top spruce was different. But I remember it having a big neck like this. And of course, his 37, 36 is his regular D-28. Had a pretty chunky neck, quite this big. But I remember Charles's guitar had a 1.8 inch widen up because I measured it. And when I put my hand around it the first time, I go, it's a little bit bigger neck than normal. And, Charles said, yeah, it is. And so I got my calipers out and measured it, 1.810, if I remember. It's in the book, The Play Like Me. Charles Sawtelle book, Flat Picking Guitar Magazine did. And I wrote part of that book. But it was, so this feels a lot like the Thompson. I'm going to correct myself if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It had more of a rounder neck on it and everything. And when I was playing that Blue Night there, I thought, ooh, that's it, I remember that feel on that guitar. All right. Sounds better as I play it, Bass. I wouldn't play blues on it. You play Johnny Cash on it, I don't know how to play that. I'm just doing it. Top of my head. That's good. sound. So, okay. D-45. I'm gonna have to play this some more. You know, now I'm getting over my scaredness of it. This thing's a beast. And I played it, I guess, in another room when the original recorded was my other room in Engine Fire. It's not as lively as this room. It's a bigger room with a lot more carpeting, a lot more thing. It's a little bit more of a deader room. And I thought the guitar was too bassy. And now that I'm playing it in this room, which is a much liver room, you know, bare white walls, it's got a good balance in here. It doesn't sound too bassy. It sounds bassy, but it doesn't sound boomy. And man, I'm getting plenty of treble. So it sounds totally different in this room. You know, I just keep doing that because God, that sounds good. You know, it's good balance. It's much better balance than I remember it. So. Sounds great. I'll never see another one of these. That's a good guitar. So, alright, so there it is. It is a D-45S 1936 Authentic, and it could be for sale. So if you're interested in it, email me. My email is briankimsey@gmail.com. And I don't want to put it in the thing or anything. You can figure out how to spell my name. It's the same as the thing in this. So briankimsey@gmail.com. I'll put you in touch with the owner. You guys can talk about it. He's not even sure he wants to sell it. We're looking at a couple of other deals, and so, you know, it's just one of those things. So. Nice guitar. I get more impressed with it as I play it. So, all right, see you later.